This monument at Kurukshetra marks the site where two massive armies once reached a total deadlock. When the conch shells blew across these lines, the noise signaled that the point of no return had been crossed. It is at this exact moment that Arjuna gives Lord Krishna a specific command: drive the chariot into the no man's land between the two roaring armies. Arjuna expects to find a target. Instead, he finds a mirror. Across the field, he sees his own grandfathers, his teachers, and his brothers. The greatest archer in the world suddenly loses his grip. His hands begin to shake, and his legendary bow slips into the dust. The text describes a total physiological collapse. His skin burns, his mouth goes dry, and his mind begins to reel in a state of absolute chaos. These symptoms map the interior landscape of the first chapter. Here, the battlefield moves inside, documenting the specific physical toll of a conscience at war with itself. Arjuna attempts to rationalize his panic by arguing that victory is hollow. He asks Krishna what the point of a kingdom is if everyone he wants to share it with is dead. This manuscript records his rejection of the spoils of war. He explicitly states he does not desire victory, power, or life itself for this slaughter. He questions why he should commit the ultimate crime of destroying his lineage for a throne. Arjuna frames his desire to quit as an act of elevated wisdom. He presents his collapse not as a failure of nerve, but as a supreme moral sacrifice. He claims he would rather live as a beggar than sit on a throne stained with the blood of his mentors. This is the mechanism of moh, or delusion. It allows the fear of a difficult duty to hide behind the label of compassion. True compassion remains objective. Arjuna's pacifism is actually a response to personal attachment. He is only unwilling to fight because the enemy is his own family. Arjuna is paralyzed by his specific, difficult duty. His attachment to the people in front of him has clouded his sense of purpose, turning a seasoned warrior into a man looking for any moral exit. The chapter ends in total silence. Arjuna sinks back into his chariot and tells Krishna, "I will not fight." Krishna does not offer comfort. He doesn't argue or try to cheer Arjuna up. He simply lets the silence stand. This is the essence of Vishada Yoga. It is a state where absolute despair is used as a tool to exhaust the ego and empty the mind of its own flawed rationalizations. It establishes the requirement for the rest of the Gita. Truth cannot be received until you have admitted total defeat in your own logic. We all face moments where our emotional attachments collide with what we know we must do. This manuscript records the transition into Chapter 2. As Arjuna falls silent, Krishna begins to speak, systematically picking apart the logic Arjuna used to justify his retreat. Krishna targets Arjuna's very first claim. He notes that while Arjuna sounds like a scholar, he is grieving for those who require no grief at all. Krishna is about to completely dismantle Arjuna's deeply held concept of the self. That transformative process begins in the next episode.